She turned an anxious Ohio housewife into a television legend, and today, we are saying goodbye to her forever. Louise Lasser, the unforgettable star of Mary Hartman, has passed away at 87. Her death was confirmed by a close friend, Susan Charlotte, and reports say she passed peacefully from natural causes at her home in Manhattan on July 6, 2026. Today, we're looking back at the incredible life of a woman who redefined television comedy and whose personal story was just as fascinating as her career. Let's start at the beginning. Louise Lasser was born in New York City on April 11, 1939. She originally studied political science at Brandeis University, performing in musicals and cabaret shows on the side. But acting pulled at her too strongly, and she left school before graduating to chase it full-time. And chase it she did successfully, almost instantly. Louise once explained that her career took off almost immediately, describing how the very first agent she met sent her straight into an audition, and she landed a breakout role right away. Offers poured in after that. But success came fast, maybe too fast. Louise admitted she felt unprepared for it all, and later studied under legendary acting coach Sanford Meisner to sharpen her skills. Through the early 1970s, she built her resume with appearances on hit shows like The Bob Newhart Show and The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Then came the role that would change everything. In 1976, Norman Lear created Mary Hartman, a bizarre, brilliant parody of soap operas that aired 5 nights a week after the late news. Louise played a bewildered Ohio housewife trying to hold her life together through murders, scandals, and the everyday absurdities of suburban life. Pigtails, gingham dresses, and an ongoing, hilarious crisis over, of all things, waxy yellow buildup on her kitchen floor. Here's a twist, though Louise almost never took the role. She turned it down 5 times. She later admitted that after her 5th rejection, she turned to her manager and asked if the offer would ever come again, realizing, in that moment, that she actually wanted it after all. And thank goodness she said yes, because Norman Lear himself believed no other actress could have brought Mary Hartman to life the way she did. The performance made her a household name. It earned her an Emmy nomination in 1976, and that same year she hosted Saturday Night Live. She ended up starring in 315 of the show's 325 episodes, an incredible run for a role she almost walked away from. But Louise's story isn't complete without talking about her personal life specifically, her relationship with a young comedian named Woody Allen. They met in 1962 on a double date, of all things both of them there with other partners. Louise later described that meeting as instant and electric. She was only 20 or 21 at the time, freshly starting therapy and, by her own admission, working through a difficult period in her life. But something clicked between her and Woody that night, and it changed the direction of both of their lives. They married in 1966. During their marriage, Woody's film career exploded, and rather than feeling overshadowed, Louise supported and admired his rising talent. She appeared in several of his early films, including Take the Money and Run, Bananas, and Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex. The couple divorced in 1970, but their bond didn't disappear overnight. They stayed close, kept working together, and clearly still respected one another deeply. Years later, Louise found some humor in her own story, joking that finally playing Mary Hartman gave her an identity beyond simply being known as Woody Allen's ex-wife. That's the mark of a true original, someone who built her own legacy on her own terms. Louise Lasser gave us one of television's most iconic characters, a role she almost turned down, but one that ended up defining a generation of comedy. Her talent, her honesty, and her unforgettable presence will not be forgotten. Rest in peace, Louise. Thank you for Mary Hartman and for showing us what it means to be truly one of a kind. If this tribute moved you, hit that like button, subscribe for more remembrances of the icons who shaped our screens, and drop a comment below sharing your favorite Louise Lasser memory.